www.vintagegamer.com. I will show them the true nature of the Force.
Yes, the long-awaited and highly anticipated Star Wars Battlefront, the software engineering masterpiece from publisher Electronic Arts that lets you relive some of your very favorite Star Wars moments. Like here, when the Emperor was hiking through the snow on the ice planet Hoth. Wait, what? Am I alone in thinking that it is kind of weird to have the Emperor, the Empire's head of state, on the ground in a combat zone? I don't recall Hitler driving panzer tanks in World War II, nor was JFK assigned to an infantry division during Vietnam. It's just weird. And am I nitpicking? Yeah, probably. But it just seems kind of weird, and it seems kind of forced. Like a lot of things in Star Wars Battlefront. But really, it's no big deal because these weird, forced moments, that's really only where the problems begin for Star Wars Battlefront. So let's go through some of the bigger problems with this piece of shit, game. Problem number 1, the music.
Down our transport ship.
Enemy fighter right behind you.
Yeah, John Williams. Exciting, right? Lends itself to the moment. Well, yes, but what you just heard, that's about all you're gonna get. Seriously. I don't know why, but the stupid fucks that made this fucking game had access to one of the best fucking soundtracks and musical scores ever. So naturally, being the dumb fucks that they are, they decided not to use it. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking bullshit. No bullshit, sadly. Here, I'll shut up for a minute. You take a listen at this wannabe John Williams high school band nonsense.
I wonder if your feelings on this matter are clear. Your insolence will cost you dearly. You will die.
Is it bad? No, not exactly. If this was another game, I'm sure I would not even be bitching about it. It's not that it's horrible, but you buy a Star Wars game expecting a Star Wars soundtrack. I don't know what this is. This is a disappointment at a minimum. Problem number 2. We had better flight sims in the 1990s. Yeah, it looks nice, but so do pretty women who con you into marrying them and then suck all the money right out of your wallet. That's not what you want, is it? I didn't think so. The default controls, for some inexplicable reason, are not inverted, which makes little sense to me. I'm old school. I grew up with X-Wing and TIE Fighter and X-Wing versus TIE Fighter and X-Wing Alliance. So, yeah, yes, with the flight sims, I am more accustomed to having a joystick. And if, hint, hint, somebody would make a bitchin' Star Wars flight sim, I would gladly pay $100 or whatever for a cool joystick to play that with. To me, that would be worth the money. But that's not what we have here. yes, the graphics on this game are gorgeous, and that's a shame because the rest of it kind of sucks. You know, it looks good, but don't be fooled by the appearances. If you look closely, the proportions on certain things are off. You fly next to a capital ship or transport, and your fighter is way too big compared to what it should be. Same thing on the mission where you're flying on, I think it's Tatooine, and that's another thing. I don't know what story that comes out of because I feel like I'm more in Lord of the Rings with this. But if you get close to those buildings, the X-Wing is way too big relative to what the buildings should be. Just annoying little oversights like that. There's also no sense of speed. You can accelerate and decelerate your ship, and I guess that matters when you're flying right next to someone, but there's really no sense of speed. It just moves the ship forward on the screen a little bit and makes your controls worse, and that's supposed to give you a sense of speed, evidently. I don't know. For you younger gamers that don't know, that the Star Wars flight sims in the 90s were fantastic. And really, you'd be better off, if that's what you want, save some money, go to GOG, and you can download them for like $5. I wouldn't recommend playing them without a joystick, but you know, if you're looking for a flight sim, this is not the game for you. Seriously, the graphics won't be as nice, but the gameplay is so much better. Problem number 3, no Lando. So if you play as the Empire, you can choose from Boba Fett, Vader, the Emperor. If you play as the Alliance, you can choose from Luke, Han, Leia. And okay, seriously, who in the hell is going to play as Princess Leia? I feel like they just threw a chick in there to be politically correct. No self-respecting guy is going to play as Princess Leia. So, if you're being politically correct, how the hell did you leave out the only black guy in the entire fucking galaxy? Apparently, this game was made by a bunch of white supremacists who couldn't see fit to put a brother in the action. Well, lordy, that's an outrage, and now all of you brainwashed millennial college douchebags have something new to protest. Hashtag Lando's Life Matters. Problem number 4, complete lack of fucking content.
Don't get in my way.
So if you're watching a review from VintageGamer.com, I'm going to go out on a limb and think you've probably also watched reviews at IGN and GameSpot and maybe Classic Game Room and a few other of those popular bigger channels on the internet. And the odds are you've probably seen footage exactly like this before. And there's a reason for that. It's not because this is the most fun level in the game. It's because there's only 4 levels. It's a half-done game. This is a demo. This is a beta version. It's seriously short on content, and we all know why. That's so they can charge you to download more content later on. I am so sick of that fucking shit. It's going back to Lando and whatnot. I'm sure Lando's going to be a playable character, as is Chewbacca, and probably a bunch of minor characters, only the nerdiest of Star Wars fans knows, Crixnay, etc., etc. Hell, maybe they'll even have fucking Wicket. But the point is, you're going to have to pay. The mouse has to make his money. EA has to make the money. And that would be fine if they had just given me a complete fucking game to play in the first place. Maybe I wouldn't mind so much. But I feel like they gave me half a game. And if I want to play the other half, I guess I have to pony up more money. And what I really don't get about that is, if you want to charge $100 for a game, then charge $100 for a game. If it's worth it, people will buy it. It's the way of the future, I guess, and as long as we're heading down that path, the future looks pretty goddamn bleak. Problem number 5. I'm tired of taking it up the fucking ass from fucking Electronic Arts.
forces away from the lander shuttle.
Hey, look, kids, one of those exciting moments in the game where you actually get to hear the Imperial March. What a novelty in a fucking Star Wars game. You know, who knows? Number 4 and number 5 on my list here are inexplicably linked, and I'm sorry because I'm sure it's just going to blend into one giant rant. But the lack of content / the downloadable shit we're going to all have to pay for, maybe that'll include exciting things like the Star Wars soundtrack. Maybe that's something we're going to have to pay for in the future. I don't know. It's just really upsetting. I'm really tired of taking it up the ass from EA. And I should probably point out right about now that I'm not a journalist. I'm just another fat fuck gamer with a PS4, a capture card, and an opinion. But I'm inclined to think that my opinions are better than most people's facts. Also, in the interest of full disclosure, I pretty much hate EA with passion these days. I've had a strong dislike for Electronic Arts for over a decade. And it's fair to say that had this game been anything other than a home run, I was going to bitch, moan, groan, and complain about it. At the same time, however, and maybe I'm being picky and whatnot, but at the same time, however, why the hell isn't this game a fucking home run? You have a high-profile title from the highest-profile movie series ever, from the largest video game publisher the world has ever known. Lord knows they had enough time to make this game great. There hasn't been a damn Star Wars game released since Lucas sold out to the mouse, and that was about 2.5 years ago. There's really no excuse. They had plenty of time to make a good game. I shouldn't have to pay to have the other half of this game.
Copy, heading for your position.
Is it the most disappointing game since E.T. for the Atari 2600? Well, no, it's not that bad. But it is disappointing.
Enemy fighter right
Kind of like finally getting the chance to bang the prom queen only to find out she has a dick. It's disappointing kind of on that level. I mean, if you do her doggy style and close your eyes and pretend real hard, maybe you can trick yourself into thinking it's something better, but you've really just gone from banging the prom queen to some sort of gay prison rape sex. And nobody wants that. And that is, I'm sorry, that just precisely sums up how I feel about this disappointment of a game. And it's just been an ongoing story like this with Electronic Arts for years and years and years. And until another publisher starts making Star Wars games, I'll probably still review them and bitch about them, but I'll have had this game all of a week, and I'm going to go trade it in on Fallout 4. I'm sure you can already guess my conclusions on this game, as we come to the denouement of this VintageGamer.com review. I took a look at the credits, and I almost have to kind of laugh. It really is amusing to me. I mean, you don't put text in light gray on top of an image. It just doesn't show up well, as you can see. I mean, it should be on a black background or white background, or if you want to use the image, you should have text, whatever. And it just makes it impossible to read, and I understand why these guys did that. They don't want their names associated with this piece of shit, apparently. I gotta think that's it, and it's sad and funny and makes a lot of sense all at the same time. The game looks great, and it's Star Wars, so undoubtedly a lot of you guys are gonna buy it anyway, despite all the bad reviews on the internet. Fuck all that 4 or 5 star shit on BestBuy.com and Walmart.com and GameStop and etc. It just isn't worth it. It's gonna be awesome for 5 to 10 hours, and then it's just going to be repetitive, and you're going to notice all of the glaring things that are wrong with this game more and more and more until you don't even want to play it anymore. I, for one, am not sticking around to download and pay for a bunch more crap that I think I should have gotten included with the game. I'm trading this in, like I said before, Fallout 4. Pontiff, longtime VintageGamer.com fan, says Fallout 4 is awesome. I'm looking forward to visiting Cheers. But I just don't see the point to waiting around for more shit that I'm going to have to pay for. I strongly recommend that you save your money. You younger gamers might want to take it off your Christmas list and replace it with something you'll enjoy for, before you go back to school in January. If the game's going to be, trust me, the game's just going to be already old and boring and all that by the time you go back to school in January. It just is. And it's sad, and I know none of you are going to listen to me because it looks good and because it's Star Wars, but you're going to look back and say, damn, Mark over at VintageGamer.com knew exactly what the fuck he was talking about. Sit, Dick, sit. Good cat.